Baby Nathan would not stop crying. Baby's father, 24 years old, he's the fool. No experience. Wasn't proactive on reading up how to raise a child. No clue how to raise one. Baby's mom was exhausted. She tried everything. Fed him, burped him, checked the diaper, it was dry. Took his temperature, no fever, just made the boy angrier. Here, take him, she said to her husband. The fool obediently took the boy and laid him on the living room carpet. The boy cried harder. Without his mom, he didn't know what he wanted, but he knew he didn't want the carpet. The fool didn't know what to do, so he took his enormous hand and put it over the boy's mouth. Surprisingly, the boy stopped crying and fell asleep. And both of them slept on the living room floor that night. Nathan grew to be a chubby boy. In kindergarten, the school was wintertime, the playground was frozen. Another boy, Ken, shoved Nathan. Nathan slipped and fell. He told his parents, and the fool wanted to seek revenge. But when the fool actually saw Ken's father, who was taller, better dressed, and made more money, he managed to say toadishly, "You should talk to your son and find out what happened." 2 years later, Nathan was a second grader. Nathan's mom wanted to help out with the family finance, so she took a job working swing shifts, which meant the fool was in charge of Nathan and Megan, the younger sister. One particular afternoon, the fool wanted to go for a family bike ride. It was hot, and Nathan refused to wear the bike helmet. Now, even the fool knows wearing a bike helmet is a good idea. But he was too lazy to argue the importance of safety. Fine, just don't fall. But before long, Megan said to her father, "I don't see Nathan." A little further up, they caught up with him. Nathan has ridden off the drainage overpass. The little bridge had no railing. And the ditch was completely dry, with the exception of a little bit of grass growing through the concrete cracks. Nathan was crying. The fool hoisted the boy and the bike out of the ditch, but he had no common sense to apply first aid. "My head hurts," Nathan cried. "Walk the bike home," the fool barked. And Nathan's forehead continued to swell until his mother came home that night. Her heart broke when she saw his face. The swelling has caused his right eye to close completely. "What happened?" she demanded. "He wouldn't wear his helmet," the fool stammered. 3 years later, the family moved on to Tucson, Arizona. Very hot place. The swimming lesson was over, and Nathan, Megan, and Bubby had just finished their swimming lesson, just goofing around in the pool. Bubby is hyperactive 5-year-old. Didn't know when to quit. He kept splashing water in Nathan's face. By this time, Nathan is a stocky, strong 10-year-old. And he held Bubby underwater, just briefly, to teach him a lesson. Unfortunately, the fool saw this, and he tried to hold Nathan underwater. But the combination of Nathan's strength and the buoyancy of the water refrained the fool. The fool was embarrassed, but he didn't try anything else. It took many years for the fool to realize and repent of his wrongdoings. Today, he learned that any idiot can father a child, but it takes wisdom and compassion to be a father. Today, Nathan is 19 years old. He's a sophomore at Rice University. He is 6'2", 190 pounds. Works part-time as a lifeguard. He does yoga, P90X, to stay in shape. majors in computer science, and he plays way too much video games. If I look closely at his forehead, I can still see the subtle but swollen scar from so many years ago. Nathan is my firstborn son, and I am that fool. Mr. Toastmaster.